Avert your eyes or you might be turned to stone. We're talking about Xargatha today on Optimal Play. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Jordan.
And yeah, Guards of Atlantis II. We're back.
We're back.
A couple weeks off. I did play some in the meantime. I think you did too since we last recorded these.
Yeah, I think so. One or two games maybe.
Even I think our gameplay video.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a good segue into, hey, like this video and subscribe to the channel.
More Guards content.
Yeah. We've been here talking through card by card through the heroes in Guards of Atlantis II.
Yes.
Giving our relatively amateur takes.
Very amateur.
Enjoying talking about them and comparing notes with the comments and everything. So
yes.
Thank you for those. And we do have several full 4-player playthroughs on the channel too.
That's right. And more to come.
Exactly. Yeah. But anyway, we're here to talk about Xargatha.
Yes, indeed. Xargatha the Changed.
The Changed. Why did it... Wow. I really thought she was Xargatha the Cursed. I just looked down and I mean, obviously it says changed, but...
What a great prank. I actually printed this.
Wow, you got it.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Xargatha the Changed. I think she changed from a woman into a half woman, half snake.
I mean, she's like she's a Medusa, essentially, right?
She is a Medusa.
Even if she doesn't use that word.
Yeah.
She was the high priestess of the sacred shrine when it was desecrated and the holy relic was stolen. Her anger and grief were so powerful, they've changed her into a monster. She abandoned the temple to find the thieves and return the relic.
Yeah.
Which she does over and over again by fighting minions and heroes.
That's right. Yeah. Never to find the relic or return it, I think. Very unlikely.
No. I mean, you can play Guards of Atlantis with the relics module.
What if one of those is just Xargatha is satisfied, remove her from the game, permanently remove Xargatha from her collection.
Or maybe there's a hidden version of her under one of the trays that she turns back into a human.
Wow.
All different cards.
Guards of Atlantis, the best legacy game of all time.
There's just some free ideas for the next crowdfunded set of expansions. Give us human form.
That's what the players really want.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
want to tell us high level about Xargatha?
Yes. So Xargatha's tips. Well, first of all, she is a middle attack, slightly higher than average defense and movement, and slightly lower than average initiative character. Mm-hmm. With high stats in Brawler, mediocre stats in Pusher and Support, and a low stat in Initiator. Mm-hmm. She's short-ranged, has self-heal, and, unsurprisingly for being a Medusa, can immobilize.
That's right. I think we will see her turning some people to stone with her cards.
Right. And it says here that offense is her best defense, and her gold can be used to dissuade the enemy from attacking. We've definitely experienced that multiple times.
Yes.
Her silver card is versatile and can be used to farm minions, and she has high movement on her primary red card, which she can use to pursue wounded enemy heroes to finish off with her gold card.
That's actually interesting reading this. I haven't thought about because her what is her silver? Oh, Siren's Call. I'm thinking of Wasp's. Static barrier, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Never mind. Yeah, so that's interesting that it suggests. I don't think I've seen a hero here yet suggest using the movement on your red card. The red card is often the highest move one, mm-hmm. but it always feels bad because it essentially costs gold in a way, right, to use it for movement.
I mean, if you would get an attack off otherwise, yeah. But I feel like because Xargatha's initiative is kind of low, especially I think among the 1-star heroes, she feels like the slowest or one of the slowest.
Yeah.
You may need to use her red card, which typically has a higher initiative than some other cards, in order to get into position or avoid certain effects.
Okay, I buy that.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, should we get into the cards?
Let's do it.
I think we usually start with the gold.
That's right.
The basic attack. This was mentioned in her notes. It's Backlash. It is 11 initiative, which I think for gold is moderately low. It's maybe, I think they're 10 to 13 usually, but anyway.
I think it might just be 11 to 13 because 10 gets into blue card territory. I'm not sure.
That could be. So it has 2 defense, 1 boot, and a 3 strength basic attack that says target a unit adjacent to you. After the attack, this turn, after you discard a card for any reason, perform the primary action on an attack card in your discard if able. First complete the action causing the discard.
So obviously what happens here is you hope to play this before you're being attacked, you discard your red card to block an attack, and then you use that red card to attack back.
Yes, exactly. And it has mattered, though, that you can also more readily decide to use your red card, like say turn 1 to block an attack, because then turn 2 when you play backlash, since the way it actually works is whenever you discard a card, you can resolve any attack from your discard pile. Like the red can just already be there too.
Right, that's true.
I think I think that the comments on her card here about it were exactly right. This generally is used to dissuade attacks. It's very rare that I've actually resolved a retaliatory attack like the text of this says.
Right, because once someone's played the red card, they can already see you've played your gold card and turned it on, so they have to go through with it. You know?
Yes.
Otherwise, they'll just use it to move or something else. But still, if you can play it when someone's going to play a red card to attack you and make it essentially fizzle, or use it for movement instead, it's still high value.
Oh, that's super strong, yeah. Yeah, and so playing against Xargatha, if you're going to attack her, when you're choosing your card, you would love to set up a situation where you could hit her, but could pivot to hitting a minion if she backlashes.
Right, right. Unless you think you're going to be attacking for, I'm not sure what the defense on her red card is. Base red card, maybe 7.
Base red card is 6.
6.
Yeah.
So, and 7 on the upgrade. So, you know, if you can hit her for more than that, and she doesn't have her red card in the discard pile, and you can make her use her. Well, actually, her red's her highest defense, probably.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those situations where a high attack is important because none of this matters if you just kill her.
Yeah, right? That's right.
It's very clear that you finish resolving that action before she retaliates, and she'll be wiped off the board by then.
Right. Difficult to do, but if you can do it, it just goes over and above her gold card there.
Yep. Tell us about that silver card that's used to farm minions more easily.
Yes, extremely versatile. Siren's Call is a basic ranged skill with 3 range and only 1 initiative, so you'll be going last. Target the nearest non-immune enemy unit in range, not adjacent to you, and move that unit up to 2 spaces along the shortest valid path toward you. May repeat once.
Right. Okay, so this can suck minions to be adjacent to you so that you can use both of your attacks are melee.
Right.
So I'm seeing why it said that about farming minions.
Right. It also has some, interesting combos with certain heroes, like Dodger, for instance, wants empty minion spawn points. You
Yes.
use this to create some of those. There are other heroes who want, being able to reposition different minions and different heroes is helpful for characters who need straight lines or need not straight lines.
Yeah.
Like you can kind of position yourself in such a way to assist them in setting up those formations.
It also, and this is just my recency bias because I've played several games with Silver Arrow recently, but Silver Arrow doesn't like to be around units, but also at least one of her reds doesn't like the target to be near units, so this protects you from that. Right,
Oh,
I think that it's a really long range attack, but only if the target is isolated from other units. Otherwise, the range shrinks. So yeah, this can hide from Silver Arrow well.
Another interesting combo might be with Min or someone else who sets up traps, because if you can control things to step on those traps, they would trigger, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
This doesn't move tokens, though, right? It is just units.
Yeah, but if you move the unit onto the token.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really versatile. And then kind of my last thought on it is it's super slow, which you want to make sure to use to your advantage, because sometimes it's great to be very slow because then you feel like you practically get 2 back-to-back actions by playing one of your faster cards next. She doesn't have any astonishingly fast cards to guarantee that she gets that pulls someone in and then attacks them, but
yeah.
Upgrade her initiative, maybe you can pull it off.
I feel like a lot of characters also have slower cards that set things up. I think Min's trap cards are probably relatively slow, if I'm remembering correctly.
I'm not sure Min is the hero you're thinking of. Isn't Min the samurai that flies around?
No, that's not Min. Is it? I don't think
I'm pretty sure it is. I played a game with her last week.
Really?
I didn't play as her, but you reach for your phone to check. Great video.
Great content.
While you fact check yourself, I'm going to read the red card.
Sounds
All right. Xargatha's red attack card is Dangerous Slash. It is 7 initiative, 6 defense, 5 boots. So yes, it was right that she has high movement on here. 4 plus, because it says target unit adjacent to you, +1 attack for every enemy unit adjacent to you. So this is even though it's not fast enough to do the back-to-back action thing I was talking about, this follows up Siren's Call really well because it gets stronger the more enemies are adjacent to you. Did you find your answer?
No, I was too. I felt like it would take too long. But I'm thinking of whoever has the red hair and sets the traps on the board, which I thought was Min.
That is not Min. That is escaping me too.
That's fine.
But the Dangerous Slash. You get stronger the more enemies are adjacent to you if you're Xargatha playing this card. So it is a potential follow-up to Siren's Call.
That's cool, yeah.
It's just at 7 in initiative, it's unfortunately not fast enough to do what I was saying, which is like Siren's Call and then play a fast card and nail them. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I guess. And then it does have 5 boots, which really is I think I've never seen a higher movement speed than that printed on anything ever.
I don't think so.
So if anyone's going to use the red cards for movement, it probably is her.
Yeah.
Yeah, between that and them being melee, so sometimes you might just not have a target. Yeah. What else do we got?
Stone Gaze. I don't know why I looked at you.
I thought we were freezing.
Are we freezing?
I don't know. You looked at me, and so
no,
I froze.
I should keep going, right? 9 initiative. If you can't tell, it's very, very late. No, I'm just kidding. 9 initiative, 5 defense, and 3 movement points here. It's a skill, an area skill. This turn, the nearest enemy heroes in radius are immune, cannot perform a movement action, and count as terrain. So she turns them to stone.
Turns them to stone.
They can't move, and they're immune. It's interesting that they're immune, because really, I guess this is mainly used in the same way that you would use Wasp silver cards, like prevent a big movement or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the most obvious use for this, and the main way that I've used it is to stop them from moving, to getting to the battle zone or whatever it is. It's interesting, and what I think makes this tricky to use is that on that list, it did not stop them from resolving the action on their card.
Right.
So even though they're turned to stone, they can still attack you, or a minion, or whatever. So yeah, it's a little niche, and you gotta time it well. You gotta read what your opponent's going to do.
Right, and your teammate. I mean, maybe your teammate needs time to get into position to hit with their gold card or something like that. You can stop, some voiding with that.
That's true. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, you definitely want to coordinate with your teammate, because if you can lock them down, and this is the other thing about this is it needs to go before the opponent to do anything but make them immune, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So you've got to carefully coordinate. So you need to read your opponent and work with your ally, but freezing someone in place so you can close in and both attack them the next turn.
Right.
Can be a great way to line up a kill, but it's not an easy card to use. And then the Charming Aura, this is also a 2 radius card. So she loves, and was the silver radius or range? That's range.
And 3, yeah.
5 initiative, 3 defense, and then it's 2 movement. So this is a movement action. This round, enemy melee minions in radius count as friendly when calculating defense totals. So this is actually, we got to it last, but this to me is one of the most memorable and iconic things about Xargatha, is that she makes all minions. Well, on this card, all melee, but the upgrades will be all minions. All minions boost your attacks. And so she's great on a team that is trying to get kills with big attacks.
Interesting, yeah. And she can bring in minions and they'll defend her as well, right?
Yes. They count as friendly whether you're being attacked or whether you're attacking.
Right.
Yeah. So this is, I think, the one that, well, actually, I think both Stone Gaze and this Charming Aura really want you to increase your radius. There are plenty of cards we've seen, and more that we haven't done on videos yet, but I've played with, where expanding the radius of them is a double-edged sword. These all seem like all upside.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point.
Yeah, so I'll be looking for, as we get to the upgrades, what has radius on it.
Well, I'll tell you, it's the straight line red, I think.
Okay. Should we get to it?
Red's next, actually.
I think you're holding the straight line. Yeah.
So I'm holding the straight line red. So I guess it's actually the Zag red. So the first red was
Dangerous Slash. So this is the one that does melee attack that's stronger for each enemy unit adjacent to you.
Okay. So the level 2 is Deadly Swipe, and over that it has it's 1 point faster at 8, and it's got 1 point more of defense. The attack actually goes down from 4+ to 3+, but it says target a unit adjacent to you +2 attack for every enemy unit adjacent to you, as opposed to +1 attack for every unit adjacent to you.
Yep.
So obviously, if you're sacking things in with Siren's Call or something along those lines, you can get +2, +4, +6. Who knows how high you could get.
Right. And why don't you read us the other one too?
And the Lethal Spin has no baseline stat upgrades. It is 2+ attack, but then it's +3 for every unit adjacent to you. And these come with their bonuses are on the
you get
defense
defense
and
and
then
then
movement.
movement.
Yeah.
Which she's already quick, but quick as far as movement spaces,
Right.
not initiative.
Right.
So what's interesting, and that's what I thought as you read the third card, but
This actually says attack for every. Oh no, never mind. I'm misreading that.
So Dangerous Slash, the initial the level 1 red card, it basically might as well say 5 attack because it's a melee attack, so there's always one enemy adjacent to you, right? The one you're attacking.
Right.
Both of those also are 5 if there's one enemy adjacent to you.
Right.
So these upgrades, other than the boost in initiative, they don't make your attack stronger until you're lining it up so you're next to at least 2 enemies.
Right.
Which makes it an upgrade that I don't feel great about.
I mean,
right?
Maybe, but if you're next to 2 enemies with Lethal Spin, you're hitting for 8.
True.
Maybe they can block, maybe not. But if you're up with next to 3 enemies, you're hitting for 11. They cannot block.
Yeah,
probably. Like that's a kill.
But it's not fast enough to like guarantee that you can Siren's Call into it.
That's true. Maybe if your teammate has some other movement control or other sort of support.
Yeah, you've got to, and I mean, I guess this is good design that the attacks that can be very large numbers require some teamwork. Right?
Yeah.
So you're not just walking out there and killing things. But yeah, this feels like it takes a lot of setup, and it's really easy for the opponents to be like, Xargatha's standing next to 3 enemies. I think I'll go elsewhere.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure about these.
That's fair. Yeah, it's kind of difficult because an instant kill has to inherently be so conditional in this game.
Yes.
That maybe it never goes off.
Yeah, and there's just everyone generally has like a really high defense card, if not a block card that they could save for this. And
Oh yeah, that's true too.
It's hard to get kills with the big hits. Unless I find that the time that they work is as the second attack in the round when someone's used their defense or maybe just has less options. But then it still took 2 attacks, so it's not that different from killing someone because you attacked them 3 times as a team.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of those. I don't think.
That's fair.
So let me introduce you to the alternatives.
Yes.
We have Long Thrust. It's an 8 initiative, 4 defense, 4 movement. So you give up some movement here. Ranged attack though. That is a 4 strength attack that just says target a unit in range not adjacent to you. It has 2 range, so it targets specifically the circle around her.
Right.
And then
that comes with an initiative.
Okay. And then rapid thrusts, which you said comes with the radius.
That comes with the radius.
So that right there. So I'm very likely to take this just for that. But this has a 5 attack, 2 range, and it says target unit in range not adjacent to you. After the attack, if you're adjacent to an enemy hero, you may repeat once on a different target unit. Yeah, this is a real weird one because it wants you to be next to an enemy hero, but then to attack twice, but neither of those attacks can be next to that hero or can be targeting that hero, right?
So similarly, you kind of have to have a lot of enemies near you to make value out of that.
Yeah.
Right? So you should sort of want that either way.
I've never thought of it this way, but Xargatha's kind of the anti-Dodger. Dodger gets powerful the more minions die in the battle zone, and Xargatha gets weaker the more minions are missing from the battle zone.
Yeah.
Is that kind of, at least for her red cards?
Yeah, it seems that way.
It's not as pervasive a theme as Dodger, right? Where she doesn't have like 3 cards that care about being next to.
Right. I mean, it's really, she might not care that much except for the ones that are right next to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas Dodger, I guess Dodger's like looking for these empty spawn points, but he can kind of move around and find the empty ones, and she can similarly move around.
Yeah, I just mean like that power curve where Dodger like line goes up and Xargatha's line goes down over the course of each wave.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and then this can take out 2 minions, which is nice. But a lot of level 3 reds can.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm not a fan of either of her reds.
I think I lean towards I mean, the radius on that is really what would pull me in that direction.
Agreed.
But
Yeah.
if they both had movement on them, I think I would take this one.
You would take the
Straight line,
the melee.
lethal
that-
swipe, yeah.
Yeah.
Because even if all I'm doing is dissuading an attack against me by having that card, and then I'm just killing minions, I mean, that doesn't feel great, but feels okay.
And the lethal spin, like the straight line upgrades, they had a lot more defense. Yeah, I think that's interesting. Is that those upgrades have 3 more defense and 1 more boot, so they're much more versatile cards.
Yeah,
in
that's
general.
true too.
I mean, I'm not usually upgrading my card hoping to use it for defense and boots.
Right.
My red card rather hoping to use it for defense and boots, but it still matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which of us is holding the straight line? I think it's you're holding the
me.
straight line blues. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So the base one, remember, was Stone Gaze.
Mm-hmm.
The level 2 is Petrifying Stare. The upgrades are 1 additional initiative, 1 additional defense, and a 3 radius instead of 2.
That's big.
And it says, this turn, the nearest enemy heroes in radius are immune, cannot perform a movement action, and count as terrain. So it's the exact same text, just a larger radius. And then the level 3 is the same stat lines as the level 2, still 3 radius. And it says, this turn, enemy heroes in radius are immune, cannot perform a movement action, and count as terrain. So it's the exact same text as well.
That can't be. All the stats are the same.
This turn...
Sorry.
This one says, this turn, the nearest enemy heroes in radius.
Oh, and turn into statues is all enemy heroes?
And this one is all enemy heroes in radius.
That's a big distinction.
That is a big distinction. And in fact, between Stone Gaze, we didn't really note that for Stone Gaze either, but these are both the nearest enemy heroes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's probably good. Alright, that her level 1 card can't just freeze the entire enemy team in
Well,
place,
it's only if
but-
they're within 2 of her.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, that's
Within 2 of a hero is a pretty big
true.
area.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So the level 3 is, within 3. Freezes everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I think Stone Gaze is great. I think that these are great too. Let's see, what upgrades do you get? Defense and range, which her range is just for her. Oh, it's for her silver or her ranged red.
Silver or her
right?
range red, yeah. I mean, the thing to note about this is, like, you're right that they can still attack, but they can also still use movement effects that just aren't movement actions.
True.
Like Brogan's attack would still work. with
Yeah.
these. So they're not as versatile as stopping any sort of action from moving forward.
It's a good point. What is it? How does that make it? Brogan can be turned to stone and then still charge.
You know,
So-
he's really pushing.
Powerful
through it.
barbarian,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the powerful elf bard barbarian.
It's a real unstoppable force versus meets a immovable object kind of situation.
Sure,
right?
sure, yeah.
And it turns out unstoppable force wins.
Yeah,
in this game.
as it turns out. As it turns out.
Okay, well, the alternatives there are Fresh Converts, which is the level 2 blue card. It has 10 initiative, 6 defense, 3 boots. So same skills as the level 2 alternative. This is a skill that says if you're adjacent to a minion, you may retrieve a discarded card. Oh, we mentioned that her summary sheet mentioned self-heal. Here it is, right?
Right.
Only if you're adjacent to a minion. So this is now a second card in her suite that cares about adjacent to, I guess, any minion, but...
Right.
Yeah, she likes to be in crowded spaces. And then her devoted followers has all the same stats, and then skill, if you're adjacent to a minion, you may retrieve a discarded card, and this turn you're immune to attack actions. This is fine, but she 10 is pretty quick. You're like immune to red cards and not gold cards with this, right? If you go at 10 speed and you're immune to attack actions this turn.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of nice, the idea of, like, you know, blocking with your red card and using it on your gold card or whatever the case may be, and then picking it back up with this card and then playing it for your 4th action, you know. That feels pretty good if you can pull it off in that way.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's very difficult to do that. But...
And there's definitely, I think that there's a play style I'm seeing for Xargatha here where she's kind of the team's front line. She's the one who wants to be in the faces of the enemy team, because between backlash, where she might just make people choose not to attack her, and then this that she recovers a card, like, she's pretty tanky. And then meanwhile she can, she can't take this and turn them to stone.
No.
I was gonna say, then she gets in their face and turns them to stone.
Yeah.
Never mind, that doesn't work. But still, I think that, this is sort of a tanky in your face sort of build.
And on the other side of that, though, is that she's not super quick. So she has to like set herself into position to be in their face for the next turn.
Yeah, and we haven't even seen a lot of initiative upgrades, huh? The alternative, if you go this route with the fresh converts and devoted followers, I see that you're getting attack upgrades.
That's right.
Which
I guess probably you'd want on the Zag red.
The just target a unit in range.
Yeah.
Well, would you?
Well, because with these, I mean,
the other ones you're trying to set up big attacks, so that feels good. But yeah, I don't know. But just putting it on a range attack to where you can take advantage, you can land those hits more often. Does feel pretty good. Yeah. It's funny because I've played as Xargatha a handful of times. I've never felt like she feels strong, and yet as I'm sitting here reading the cards, I'm having trouble piecing together why.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't played Xargatha in a while, but I remember enjoying her. I think I really like the positioning aspects of Siren's Call. I think that's like such a great card.
It is.
Maybe that's why she feels good. Like that's like one big portion of it.
Or maybe we're just missing the green piece of the puzzle.
Here we go. Let's see it. So the basic one was
the basic green was that charming aura that makes melee minions assist you instead of be against you.
And that's a 5 initiative, 3 defense card. So the level 2 and level 3 both go to 4 initiative and 4 defense.
Yep.
And they're both still movement effects with 2 movement.
Yeah, which I feel like we didn't dwell on last time, but that means that you're probably playing this every round, right? It's a movement with this upside. Like this card, and I said that I think this is the most quintessential thing to me about Xargatha. Like, yeah, just enemy melee minions counting in her favor is going to be on a lot of the time. But anyway, I interrupted.
No, that's fine. This is actually like a really great first card of the game to play because you get to set up your fast travel. You don't care that this is only 2 movement. And then you have this
and then that round effect, yeah.
Like
although first round of the game, how much do the minions combat math matter? You're not usually attacking other heroes, but
maybe in some instances you would. Who's to say? Okay, so anyways, what was the text of that effect?
Enemy melee minions in radius count as friendly.
And so this is enemy ranged and melee minions in radius count as friendly, and then the top one is all enemy minions in radius, including the immune ones, count as friendly. So that includes.
Is that the only difference between level 2 and level 3? Is that the big minion, the heavy minion, the heavy minion also counts? It's a pretty small difference.
I think so.
Yeah, because none of the numbers change.
No.
The radius also does increase from the charming aura.
From 1 to 2, but not from 2 to 3.
True. Yeah. Once it's 3 radius, like if you're in the battle zone, this is covering a lot of the battle zone.
Yeah, that's true.
And then again, the fact that it's a movement. My experience playing Xargatha is that I very frequently play this as my first card of the round because it's a movement, which is a good thing to do at the start of the round to set up your plan for the round.
Right.
And then it turns on this ability that is just all upside.
Yeah, it's interesting. If you think about that in terms of playing against Xargatha, you can realize, okay, wherever Xargatha ends the round, probably she's just going to move 2 from there. I can take that into account in positioning myself, things like that.
And I think maybe
and she's going to go slow on her first turn. Like, you know, if you've got a nice ranged attack that they might not foresee hitting, you might have a good chance of them not playing their gold card and instead of playing this low count green card, and then you go in and smack them. Maybe.
I think you lost me a little bit there, but
well, I'm saying if this is your like default green card, I might try and attack you when you're trying to play this card.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. If you have a predictable pattern of always playing it first, like great time to swing in with an attack. That's a good point. I see what you're saying. Right. I think that we maybe did underplay this. So when we were talking about whether to take the red card that theoretically is designed for a big hit to get kills.
Yeah.
You know, when all minions are contributing to that, like it's a big hit.
That's true. That's a very good point.
Right? If you, as long as you're fighting in groups of minions, like the I think it was Deadly Spin, the level 3 red card that is what it was 2 plus 3 for each enemy adjacent to you. So let's say it's like reasonable on a crowded battle zone to have 2 things adjacent to you. So you're attacking for 8 already. But then all minions adjacent to the target are also decreasing their defense, but essentially increasing that. Like it's starting to get hard to see people surviving that all the time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So.
And what do these come with?
Good question. They get you an attack and a defense.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm maybe starting to see these are the two paths for Xargatha is basically offense and defense. It's like that tanky, I can recover cards, I can freeze you in place. I'm hard, again, I keep forgetting that those are one or the other, but still, you can recover cards, you can retaliate if attacked. You're kind of the tank. And then this other one is you are trying to line up, you're hopefully working with your teammate, maybe manipulating minions or hero positioning to line up an 11 strength attack that just can't be blocked.
Interesting. Yeah, I think no matter what, you're trying to line up minions in the right location with Siren's Call. And it's just a matter of, are you doing that offensively or defensively?
Yeah, that's a good point. So then the alternative greens, the Zags, are Constrict. That's the level 2. It's also a movement. So I guess our greens are always 2 spaces of movement, period.
Yes. Yeah.
But this one has the same other stats. It says, next turn, enemy heroes adjacent to you cannot move, except when performing a movement action on a gold card or a red card. So you're another card that locks them down unless they use one of their attacks for movement, which to me has always felt great. And then Deadly Embrace. Next turn, enemy heroes adjacent to you cannot move except when performing a movement action on a gold card. So they have to use an attack to move, but it has to be the one that usually has like 1 boot on it.
I found myself taking that upgrade, I think. It also comes with, each of those come with initiative, so you boost that, which is kind of low for Xargatha. And then on top of it, you're going last. You've got 2 movements, so if you're within 2, maybe you have a movement upgrade, right? Maybe you have 3. And you just walk up next to an enemy and say, okay, you're not moving next time. And then I'm going to play my gold card, right?
Yeah.
And so if you want to attack me, you're going to be, hit back. Or you're going to have to play your red or gold card to just run away from me.
Right,
that sets up some bad choices for them.
The biggest challenge I feel like to using this successfully is that it's a next turn card that only affects adjacent to you. And so, obviously this is face up for the whole round. People don't have to move adjacent to you, right?
Right, but you're going to move last, hopefully, right? Your initiative's low.
That's true, and it does have built-in movement.
Right.
So as long as they're in striking distance,
right,
you can get in for your Deadly Embrace.
Right. Even if it's like, if you can put yourself in the center of the battlefield and you play that card, even if all it means is that no one comes into the center of the battlefield and then you get 2 movement to reposition yourself, that's not terrible.
That's true. Yeah, no.
And like, how much can they really play around you? They have to play around your gold card, they have to play around this, they have to play around so much. They have to play around you turning them to stone.
Right.
Yeah,
so I think that this supports those 2, or the other one of those 2 builds I was talking about, where the auras that turn the minions in your favor there. I mean, that's also good defensively,
right.
but I think of it as, looking at her other cards, I think of it as that goes with the attack, the red cards that are about hopefully lining up a big number. And then this one that locks them down is for that, what I was talking about, where you take the self-heal, make yourself tanky, and get in their face and lock them down.
That makes sense. I'm having difficulty really picturing the builds because it feels like there's good options for different situations, and I might just find myself choosing between different things on the fly and not really going for one.
I mean, I think that is what you do most of the time.
Yeah,
right. Like we sit here in these discussions and we're like, oh yeah, I see 2 build paths, but in the game, that's never how I'm thinking.
Yeah, totally. Like, what do I need right now?
I'm thinking,
like,
it's like not only just what's the team comp, how do I want to build, which is part of it, but it's also, if I take this upgrade right now, can I play it first thing next turn and set up a surprise move?
Totally.
So yeah, we are much more like theory crafting here.
Yeah.
In practice, you gotta make tougher calls.
Yeah. Is it worth covering the ultimate quickly?
I mean, it's always worth covering. Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head what it does. I've not seen any Xargatha player in her ultimate.
Metamorphosis. You may move through obstacles. Before you perform an action, 1 enemy hero adjacent to you discards a card if able.
Before you perform an action?
It's pretty good. Just end your turn next to enemy heroes, and then, or hopefully start your turn next enemy heroes.
Yeah, I mean,
But with that, if you can take the turn to stone card.
yeah, that pairs well with her very slow, and it's very slow in that she doesn't have the very quick card that I want to pair with that. But
when you take some of the green very slow cards, some of them come with initiative, and then you're at least improving a little bit.
That's true. Yeah. I don't think we said that, but it's when you take the Deadly Embrace line that locks down the adjacent hero, that comes with initiative both steps of those upgrades.
Right.
So really, they might as well say, I guess, a minimum 5. A lot of time we look at it as if you follow this path, you'll have both of those, but sometimes you mix and match sometimes in practice.
Right.
That ultimate seems bonkers.
Seems good.
I'll note
it's discards a card if able, not discards a card if able, and if not able is defeated, which some cards say.
True, but it is free. It is before the action.
Yeah.
So it's before the attack they have to discard a card, and then if they're out of cards,
then you
they're
attack.
screwed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's strong.
Yeah. So okay, I think in the middle of going through these cards, I was kind of like, why is Xargatha good again? And then I've put it back together.
There you go.
Like I see these builds, I see how much lockdown she's capable of, and then I think it's going to be the harder thing to pull off, but she has the tools to do big attacks and go for the hero kills.
Yeah, totally.
I think the main thing I don't buy from her is being much of a pusher. Like she has this 5 out of 8 stat. But kind of the only multi-minion kill was the red that requires you to be next to an enemy hero, but target minions. I'm not sold on her pushing all that much.
It might be just the use of Siren's Call to position minions for death. That may be what it is.
Yeah, I guess. And Siren's Call can even no. I was gonna say Siren's Call can also deny kills by pulling minions away, but it's too slow for that.
Right. I mean, it's too slow unless if a hero got into position to do a kill earlier in the round, and then you go and move the minion out of the way before they get to trigger their kill on the next.
Sure.
Turn, right?
Yeah. But it is it's a 1. So even if you're taking all of her available initiative upgrades, it's going to go slower than any red card. So you're never going to be like, ha ha, you're not going to get that kill you played that card for. No, that's not how it works.
Definitely not.
All right. Well, I think we've conclusively.
This felt quicker
created the guide on
our normal reviews. It felt good.
Maybe, yeah. Felt like it's quicker good?
We'll see. I mean, I think so.
Does it mean we were efficient and respectful of our viewers' time, or that we did not have enough insights?
You know what?
Who can say?
No, I can say it's the former.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. We were, I haven't looked at the clock as we filmed this. It also could be our delusion.
This is 2 hours long. Yeah, ooh, brutal.
We are recording this fairly late night after a 3-hour game of Earthborn Rangers.
That's right. So, yeah. Which cross promote. It's time. Check out the channel. There's lots of videos for other games, including Earthborn Rangers and the Magic Roll and Write game.
Yeah. Recent videos on Optimal Play do include Kickstarter previews, Merchants of Magic. Right.
Yeah, right.
And then we've been getting into Earthborn Rangers on stream, and we'll be posting those as standalone videos too. Wow, thank you for doing my job for me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Did we you're on a podcast. Are we promoting that?
We haven't yet, but we can.
Yeah, why not?
I am also on the Game Brain podcast. You are all welcome to check it out. Mostly it's a discussion of board games. Oftentimes heavy Euro games are the sort of focus of the podcast, so not a lot of card games, which are more focused here on Optimal Play. But feel free to check it out. Always great to have new visitors, and we also have a Discord that you can check out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I don't think I'm on there. I should probably join it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Game Brain did follow me on Blue Sky or something this week, though. I actually meant to ask you whether that was you.
I did share with someone probably who's in control of the social media accounts the Earthborn stream, so that may be.
Oh, okay. Maybe that was it. I was like, I would. You're a relative, maybe 6 months ago now, a relatively new host of the podcast, right? So I was like, I would be surprised if this was Jordan.
It was not me.
Following Optimal Play, at least on social media. But the other, I've met the other hosts, but they have not yet played games here. Anyway, with that, I think
some great cross promotion.
Yeah, we're getting a little loopy here. Thank you for watching. we'll be back. We have Sabina next, and then we'll be done with the 1 stars.
That's right.
And then we need to play a lot more guards.
A lot more guards.
I have, as I've been playing, I forced my play group to just focus on 1 stars for a while. Partly because I wanted to get more familiar with them for these videos, and also partly because I think that this game is better when you're starting to learn the heroes than when you play a completely new slate of heroes every time, so everything is unpredictable and
Totally.
unforeseeable.
Right.
But we have started with the 2-star heroes, so
Exciting stuff. And we've
Yeah.
seen some in our games too.
that's right. So yeah, check those out. We'll be back soon to talk about Sabina and beyond. Till then, yeah.
Is this...
We're back. I'm just gonna put this in at the end. He was right.
It's men.
It's men.
You were thinking of Misa.
I
Misa
was.
the samurai.
Yeah.
Which they're so different. How could you get them confused?
Yeah.
4 letters versus 3 letters.
Both
Both
two
starting
and
with
the same
MI.
letters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn it. All right. Fine. I'll never doubt you again.
Thank you.
Bye. Yeah.